So if you play a lot of metal music and you kind of just play along with your favorite bands, but you're not quite sure exactly what they're doing when they write and they compose, one of the most important things you can get familiar with is the minor scale. A lot of metal songs are written using the minor scale, and this applies really in any tuning. You can be in standard tuning, you can be in drop D tuning, drop C tuning. The minor scale is really important. And so if maybe you're a little confused about what the minor scale is and really how you can start to immediately apply it to your playing and writing, this is a great video for you. So there's a difference between just knowing the minor scale in theory and knowing it on paper and then applying it specifically to metal guitar. So I'm going to go over a couple concepts that make it really easy to apply the minor scale, so you don't have to sit for hours just studying and just learning a bunch of theory. You can immediately apply it to your writing and better understand the writing in some of your favorite songs. So the first thing we'll do is learn the minor scale in one position. And if you haven't already checked it out, I made a video breaking down a section in the song The End of Heartache by Killswitch Engage, and I break down how the minor scale was used to write one of the coolest riffs. So the first thing we're going to do is learn the minor scale on the 5th fret of the 2nd string from the top. So the scale shape looks like this. So in the video, we're just going to really focus on the shape, but if you want to understand the theory of it, this scale, like all scales, are made up of a series of whole steps and half steps. And on the guitar, a whole step is 2 frets and a half step is 1 fret, and it looks like this. Right away, you can tell the difference between a half step and a whole step. A half step sounds very dark and ominous, and a whole step sounds a little happier. And a lot of metal music takes advantage of the half step. So we want to get really familiar with that scale, so eventually we can play it like this. And once you master that, we want to start to play that scale all over the neck. So we can find other points where we can start this scale. And a really easy way to do that is to find the note. This would be C. I'm in a drop tuning, I'm in drop C, but this also applies to any drop tuning. So the root note in this scale is C. So if we want to play the scale shape in another place, we just need to find another C note and play the exact same pattern. And to break this down and make it simpler for practicing, because maybe you don't have a lot of time to practice and it can be a little daunting to memorize the whole scale shape or pattern, just start with the first 3 notes. So just like on the 5th fret, we can play that same pattern anywhere we find that C note. So an easy one to start with is the open top C. And that would look like this. So this is the same as this. They're just in different pitches. So we can hear a contrast between the open and the 5th fret. So a few easy spots to learn this and get some really good practice would be on the 5th fret, the open top string, the next open C string or the 4th string, repeating this on the 12th fret because these are octaves, and then find the octaves on the notes you've already played. And that's just starting on 1 note and then going down 2 strings and over 2 frets. So now we have quite a few places that we can at least start the minor scale. So now you get familiar with that sound and that shape all over the fretboard. So even with just that little bit of knowledge, we can write some really cool riffs. And one of our biggest things in writing a riff would be contrast. This is how we make it sound interesting. And we can mix and match starting points. So our starting point could be the open low C, and then we can move up to the 14th and 15th fret, which is the same as the 2nd and 3rd fret. So maybe we want to start a riff like this. And then something I like to do is play that same thing on the next C string, which is the 4th string. So already right there, we have a really cool riff where we're playing the open low C, 14 and 15 on that same string, and then just repeat that on the next C string. So we would have this. And that already has a really cool sound. And then if we want to finish off the riff with what's called a turnaround, we might want to look down to some of the lower frets, like 2 and 3. So if we try to put those together, we might have something like this. So a couple things to keep in mind when practicing all of this is start with one thing and get really good at it before you move on to the next. So start with the minor scale on the 5th fret and get really good at playing that up and down. Then move it around and play the same thing on other frets. So after you've mastered the minor scale shape in a few positions, start using pieces of the scale to begin writing your riffs. So again, we can start on open of the low C string and find other places we can play that we know are in the scale shape. And again, just with that little bit of knowledge, you can write some really cool riffs. So this should really help you get started with writing your own riffs, as well as understanding the writing in some of your favorite songs. And some of the pioneers in the metal, metalcore, and modern metal genres use these concepts to write some of their biggest songs. So bands like Korn, Slipknot, Killswitch Engage, As I Lay Dying, all use these concepts just to varying degrees. And obviously there's a few factors that come into play, like speed, technicality, and dynamics like palm muting, sliding, hammer-ons, and pull-offs that give bands their own unique sound. So start messing around with some of these concepts and just see what sounds good to you. And again, practicing simpler is oftentimes the smarter thing to do, because I think there's a lot of value in getting good in one particular thing and then moving on instead of trying to learn a bunch of stuff. So again, maybe you've been playing for a long time and you think, oh, I have to learn a bunch of theory and I have to learn everything on the fretboard and how it all applies, but just even learning a few simple concepts like playing one scale, in this case the minor scale, can take you a long way. So hopefully this video was helpful and you can start applying these concepts immediately. And if you want more videos like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave any questions or feedback in the comments. And as always, remember, don't get frustrated, keep practicing, and most importantly, just have fun with it. Catch you next time.